Hey guys, thanks for checking out the channel. Hit the like button if you like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. And also, remember to hit that bell for notifications for when we drop new videos. Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm David.
I'm Charles.
And tonight we are going to be talking a little bit about cattle mutilations.
Ugh.
It just kind of came up in conversation last week during the show, and we're like, you know what? Screw it. We're going to do it.
Talk about it. Yeah, exactly.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah. Talk about gruesome things.
Yeah. Interesting topic. It was brought to my attention that I don't think a lot of people have really discussed this on a podcast before. So it's very very intriguing in that aspect. So maybe we'll shed some light on this mystery, or maybe we will just ramble and confuse people.
Which either one sounds fine to me.
Sounds like a glorious time. Hey, you know what, Charles? High five.
High five.
Hey guys, guess what? We reached 100 subscribers last week. Like literally the day after. We have an idea of how that happened, but for that one person, thank you very much. But yeah, we did get over 100. We actually got to 110.
That's huge. That's 20. That was 20. 90 to 110.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And we did say that we were going to do something for you guys if we hit 100. And I guess since we've hit 110,
I guess
we can go ahead and tell them what we're going to do.
Tell them what we're going to do. I'm down.
All right. Do you want to be the person, or do you want me to?
Well, I mean, we can tell them that it has to deal with Eureka Springs, Arkansas.
Oh, we can just flat out tell them. Tell them everything.
Okay. Do it.
So, because you guys were so awesome and subscribing, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe and hit the bell for notifications and all that good jazz. Also follow us on Twitter. The handle's up on our banner. You can click on the Twitter thing. So because you guys are so awesome, we are going to do a special podcast. Two nights at the Crescent Hotel in Eureka Springs live.
I'm so excited. I can't wait, man.
And that is going to be in October, October 25th and 26th.
Yes.
I believe those were the dates.
Yep.
So one night, I think we're probably going to do some interviews talking about the history of the hotel. I need to reach out to Keith and let him know so he can join us. He's the guy that does all the ghost tours and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then on the second night, we'll probably talk more about the hauntings. We'll show some evidence collected from the Crescent, not just mine, but other people's. Tell stories and stuff like that. And if there's people that have witnessed stuff that we meet there, shit, we might just bring them onto the show. Be like, hey, come on in.
What have you experienced? Tell us what you've seen or have.
Yes. And if any of you that are watching have experienced anything at the Crescent Hotel, feel free to send us a message on our Facebook page or on Twitter. And preferably Facebook because you can type out a longer thing.
Yeah.
But let us know if you've experienced anything and what you've experienced.
Definitely.
If you caught anything, feel free to share it. We'll share it on the show.
Mind you, this is going to be my first time staying the night at Crescent Hotel, so it's kind of like two birds with one stone kind of thing. Like I've been wanting to stay there for a long time, and I'm so thankful I'm going to be able to finally do this.
Hey, if we see a rise in subscribers by then, I might arrange something a little special.
Uh-oh.
I have my connections.
Yeah, he does have his connections. It's how we got the hotel room. Anyways, I'm just flat out excited. Like I've been wanting to tell everybody for a while, but of course we had to wait. We've had to wait. So this self-control has just been really eating me a lot.
No doubt. There's been times we almost slipped up and hey, just wait till
so close. So close.
Yep. And actually, we kind of planned this out a little bit. If you go back to our episode on haunted hotels, we were discussing the Crescent, and that's where the whole idea kind of popped up from.
Yeah, and
so
I feel like Crescent's probably one of the more, to me, I feel like it's one of the most notorious, definitely the most notorious in Arkansas, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, especially in Arkansas. It's one of the most haunted hotels in America.
100%. And
100%.
I've only been there, I think, actually walked inside the lobby once. Thought it was really cool. I'm just so excited to go back. It's the vibes that you get from that place is so.
I was just about to say that. The feeling you get, the energy, it permeates.
It's like you step into a whole new world. And I don't even get that feeling with the Stanley. The Stanley, I can see that, but I feel like the Stanley is more dressed up when when the Crescent Hotel feels very authentic.
Yes.
And I can't wait.
It's going to be a good time.
Have 2 months? 2 months? Yeah, about 2 months.
Yeah, 2 months. Until then.
2 months tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's the 25th.
And our October for Halloween, guys, is going to be a good one.
Yeah.
We got good stuff planned for you in October.
Yeah.
Things I cannot even mention.
No, we can't. It's too early. Of course, we just mentioned Eureka Springs, but that was a special thing, so duh.
That was a special thing.
Exactly.
So like I said, if we see a nice bump in subscribers, I might do something a little special for y'all.
Yes.
Now, with that being said, how was your week, bud?
Great. Had a great week. Nothing super crazy. Didn't have to do a lot of adulting. That was wonderful.
Good for
you.
It's
been a weird week because one of my friends went off to the military, one of my roommates. So it's been we've had one less body in the house. So it's been kind of weird, but
kind of quiet or
yeah, it kind of, I mean, it's weird because his cats are here, which we don't mind. We love the cats. All of his stuff's still here. So it's just the stuff's here, but the body's not here. And it's where'd he go? But we know where
he's at work.
So, exactly. It's just he's at a 4-month-long work. Session of work is how long he's going to be gone. So it's just
nice.
It's going to be nuts. But I had a great week.
Good deal.
Great week. How about yourself?
Pretty slow week, but I did get some stuff done. As far as planning, I have an event coming up in 2 weeks.
Yes.
The Fall into Supernatural. That's going to be held in Lexington, Missouri.
A lot of people are looking forward to that. It's going to be a big paranormal con. So
yeah, it's gonna be great. Good variety of speakers. It's gonna be September 10th through the 12th. If anybody wants to go and check it out, all the money made there, it goes to help the Ray County Museum.
Yeah.
Great guest list of speakers. I'll be one of them. That's not why it's great, but it's. I'm just holding it down.
You sure? No, I would go. I just ran out of vacation time, so it's I gotta work.
No worries.
I didn't even get to go to Comic-Con. That was this past weekend here in Kansas City, and I had to miss all of it because I had to work. It's just
I feel you.
Darn being an adult. It sucks.
Also that week, I scheduled a particular interview that I'm excited for. Super excited for. I'm excited. It is going to be for my film, Evil in Elkland. I can't wait because it's going to like really get the ball rolling on it. I haven't really, God, I hate to admit this, I haven't really done much on that film.
I mean, I feel like you have though.
I haven't. I mean, I've gone to Elkland, I've shot some B-roll, but like I've been scheduling interviews all within, like they're all that week. So like the beginning of the week, I'll be in Elkland, Marshfield, doing interviews. And then I'm going to the conference at the end of the week. So I'm going to be working 2 days out of the week and on the road all week. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be a busy one, but it's going to be worth it.
Totally.
It'll be worth it. Totally. So I'm gonna throw a little plug out there, guys. Just kind of a break here real quick. If you guys want to jump on the Facebook page for my film Evil in Oakland, you can get all kinds of updates. I'll be posting photos and things of that nature. Keep up with what's going on. This film I plan on putting into some film festivals and plan on doing a small theater tour. Eventually going to end up on a streaming platform. But real quick, here's a quick teaser.
It is so horrible, almost hard to imagine. A teenage boy went on a shooting rampage today in rural southern Missouri, killing his family before his uncle finally killed him.
Police found her body still covered up in bed, a bullet wound to her head.
Right now, 7 people are dead. This family is gone. The community is in shock.
There's no one left in this immediate family.
And real quickly before we get started, I can't believe I forgot. Quick shout out, and if anybody that prays, I want to just say that if any of you would like to send prayers to Coyote Chris Sutton. Just found out today that he has cancer. He's got lung cancer, and he's going to be fighting that. So Chris, we'll be thinking about you throughout your journey, and thoughts and prayers and best wishes go to him and his family.
Didn't even know that either. So that's wow, nuts.
Yeah, cancer has been like worse than fucking COVID this year.
Kills more people than COVID.
I mean, like I know more people that have gotten cancer this year than have gotten COVID.
It's pretty weird, isn't it?
It's pretty messed up. Maybe the aliens can cut that shit out.
Maybe that'd be nice. Mutilate. Just pull it. I mean, that's horrible to think about. But
he mutilated me.
Oh god.
Well, I'm cancer free.
Instead of probing, it mutilated.
I mean, that's which
one do you want? Yeah, which one's less painful?
Yeah, you want to go through chemo, or do you want to just like have it one and done and be a little mutilated?
That's a hard pass. That's a hard pass.
There's no hard pass. There's one or the other.
I'd rather not. Either one. Right.
Either one. I'll just die here in my hole.
Yeah, just take me out back. Just
give me the new Madden, and I'll just sit here on the couch, and I'll be happy for at least another year.
Well, if you live that long.
Yeah.
If you live that long.
So cattle mutilation is the subject we are on tonight, and I also, on the post on Facebook, I posted the subject, and we had some people chime in on your post, my post, and on the Boogeyman radio show. And somebody said that they hadn't seen this talked about very much, so this will be fun. Somebody also threw out an idea behind the cattle mutilations, which we'll get into in a little bit. Both theoretically, like what it could be, and then also talking about debunking later on too.
Hey, we're at 111 subscribers.
Woohoo! Just 111. Lucky us.
Right.
But before we get into like the actual mutilations themselves, let's talk about the history of cattle mutilation.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so this comes from the History Channel. This article, it starts off about the mysterious history of cattle mutilation. The bovine corpses stunned the ranchers who found them. The animals' eyes, ears, udders, anuses, sex organs, and tongues had routinely been removed, seemingly with a sharp, clean instrument. Their carcasses had been left drained of blood. No tracks or footprints were found in the immediate vicinity, nor were any of the usual opportunistic scavengers. Between April and October of 1975, nearly 200 cases of cattle mutilation were reported in the state of Colorado alone. Far from being mere tabloid fodder, it had become a nationally recognized issue. That year, the Colorado Associated Press voted it the state's #1 story. That's how crazy it was. Like, it just started springing up. It's not like this was happening throughout the course of centuries.
Not right? Every now and then, just the string of events.
Yeah, just between this 8-month period of April to October. Nuts. 200 cases.
Just crazy.
In one state, even. In just one state. Colorado's then state senator, Floyd Haskell, asked the Federal Bureau of Investigation to get involved. Throughout the 70s, cases had continued to mount through the American heartland, and in 1979, after thousands of reported cattle mutilations causing millions of dollars of livestock losses, the FBI finally opened an investigation into a series of cases that had reportedly taken place on New Mexico's Indian lands. Pressure came in part from a heated public symposium on the subject that had been convened by the state's science-minded U.S. Senator Harrison Schmitt, who had a PhD in geology from Harvard and had also walked on the moon as an Apollo 17 astronaut. Pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Ultimately, the FBI's inquiry poured cold water on the idea that something strange was afoot, as they always do. On January 15th of 1980, the Bureau closed the investigation, putting out a statement saying that none of the reported cases has involved what appear to be mutilations by other than common predators. Locals sharply disagreed. One person said, I've been around cattle all my life, and I can sure tell when it's been done by a coyote or a sharp instrument. And that was a sheriff that told the New York Times. That was in the fall of 1975. So theories ranged from satanic cults to UFOs, of course. I mean, when you have like these cases all of a sudden just popping up.
Yeah.
You got to think something's afoot, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Because if this was something odd that we're finding odd, even in the 70s, let's say we're in the 70s right now and this stuff started happening. If it just started happening and we're finding it odd at this point in time, why haven't people been talking about it before? Right? If this is a natural phenomenon, why is this not common knowledge to ranchers or cattlemen or farmers?
Maybe before the 70s, it didn't happen like a string of events as they thought. Maybe it was just like a farmer saw his cows messed up and they were like, oh, it's the devil. I'm not gonna talk about it.
But still, I think some of that would be passed down though. Like if it happened to enough farmers.
Or they're just like, cow died. Like, you never know.
Well,
the cow died.
Early times, if you had a bunch of cattle and something was killing your cows or goats or horses,
yeah,
you'd want to know what it is so you could put a stop to it.
You would think.
You would investigate it. You would look for animal tracks, signs of animal habitat. You would start trapping. Yeah. You start hunting. But if you're not finding anything and you don't know how this happened, it's like one day the cattle's fine and then next day, boom, dead.
Well, I mean, What if they
with parts
reported it
removed.
to the sheriff, like the local sheriff or law enforcement? They were just like, you're just crazy. It's a crazy farmer, you know?
Maybe.
But when 200 people or cases happen,
yeah,
that turns an eye. Especially when they all report the same instances, the same kinds of stuff. Maybe a few
the descriptions and
maybe a few different which organs were taken, whatnot. But yeah, I wonder. What I really want to know is when did it really start becoming like a UFO style phenomenon?
Okay.
When did the UFOs get involved?
All right. So theories range from satanic cults to UFOs. Mysterious livestock mutilations weren't confirmed or confined to the 1970s or to the United States. Similar cases involving sheep, cows, or horses have been reported as far back as early 17th century. There we go. And as recently as 2019. Actually, I've got one even more recent. However, it brought the most widespread attention in the 70s. I wonder if it's because there was an influx of this happening.
Maybe. That's my guess, because it wasn't just Colorado. Other places were having cow mutilations were happening, or pretty much everywhere. There was some big sort of farmland, which was everywhere.
Yeah.
But when you from people talking about it, from what I remember with people talking about cow mutilations, it was reported widely. But yes, Colorado was definitely was one of the hot spots. And who's to say someone's like, oh yeah, I had a cow mutilation too, just to get some, not, what is it, they might have just done it just because it was the thing to say. But
yeah. So broadly speaking, the debate about cattle mutilation falls into two camps. Those who see the mutilations as unexplained phenomena, and those who see them as normal cattle deaths, repackaged as something mysterious or paranormal. For those in the unexplained camp, opinions have diverged about the possibility of having no explanation. Some law enforcement communities opined, I guess, that the animals were being mutilated by people in strange quasi-religious rituals. In 1980, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police blamed the mutilations on an unidentified cult. The Department of Criminal Investigations in Iowa, meanwhile, asserted that the mutilations were being conducted by Satanists. Reports within the affected ranching communities indicated that the mutilations regularly coincided with the sightings of mysterious unmarked helicopters. Some ranchers who suffered the worst losses believed that federal government had performed the mutilations for an assortment of reasons, including the testing of biological weaponry. Animosity for the government proved so heated that the Nebraska National Guard ordered their helicopters to cruise at 2,000 feet rather than the regular 1,000-foot altitude for their safety, since panicky ranchers had begun shooting at the helicopters.
Oh my God. I didn't know it escalated to that point.
Yeah, I mean...
Holy cow.
You have enough damage to your livestock, you kind of get into that protective mode.
Yeah. That's crazy. Wow. All right.
Which, I can see why people would blame the government.
Oh, yeah, because, they don't really trust the government, so...
Well, the government's openly stated that they've tested stuff on American citizens as well as animals in testing facilities. Look at Plum Island. Plum Island off the coast of New York is an island where they test hoof and mouth disease. They've had some outbreaks on the island. They probably test other diseases. They're just not saying. They've had outbreaks on the island. The Montauk Monster, people believe that was a product of Plum Island, which since has moved its facilities to outside Kansas City. So there you go, Charles.
Oh, don't great.
Don't get sick.
Okay.
But yeah, they're the University of, what is it? The University of Kansas City or Kansas. I can't remember where it was at.
KU,
it's over there by
K-State.
It's on the Kansas side of it.
UMKC's on Missouri, K-State's Kansas, KU's Kansas, Lawrence.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I know it's right by one of the universities up there on the Kansas side. They built in a big underground facility, but it still has the above ground area of it too. But they are moving it there, and at that point, I'm like, if they're testing hoof and mouth disease, why would you move your facility that has been known to have outbreaks? Move it to the heart of cattle country. I will bet you within 2 years, we will see an epidemic where there will be a meat shortage because of disease.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
whether it's,
I could see it happening. I mean,
whether it was,
they're already trying to take over the food source. So,
well, I'm saying like whether it's an accident or purposely
done.
Done. I mean, it will happen. It will.
Eventually. They're already buying up farmland and farmers. Anyways, what?
Who said what?
Yeah.
So could the government be doing testing on cows and stuff like that since the 70s?
It's possible.
If it was possible, why would they still be doing it?
Maybe
when they have the information already that they needed.
Depends on the evolving nature of the technology. Maybe they're trying out different technology. More efficient, more effective. They're doing cattle because cattle's very widespread.
Seems to be the same technology. Same cuts.
To be doesn't mean it is.
Right.
Maybe it's less time.
Well, the reason why that they would be doing it, has that changed?
I don't know.
Well, Charles,
I don't know everything. I don't know everything behind the government. Maybe messing with cattle. I don't.
What about aliens? Let's talk aliens.
All right, let's talk aliens real quick. So,
if aliens are doing this,
it's quite possible. So, this place I investigated years ago, it was out in way out south, and it was big farmland. I remember he would talk about, the homeowner used to talk about seeing strange green lights in the fields. And this is before any towers, there's no highways or anything like that. There's roads, but where the lights were reported, there were no roads close by.
Interesting.
So they would see strange lights in the fields going back and forth. And these weren't just small little lights. These were lighting up the field and the trees. So I'm wondering if it could have been a white light and the green was from the trees. Like the green,
right? Yeah,
bouncing off. So who knows? Could it have been somebody with a flashlight or what have you? And I asked him that, and he said no because of how fast the light would move back and forth. Distance wise, how fast, how much land it would cover with the speed.
Did you ever ask him why he never went out there?
He was a kid.
Oh,
yeah, he was a kid. So when I say kid, teenager. So at that time, was not
still. I mean, come on. You and I know as well as everybody else. Teenagers are impervious to anything. Yeah. That's why they do dumb shit.
Oh yeah. Well, and also it wasn't his land.
Still.
If it was me, I'd be there. There's, I would definitely be checking it out.
As a teenager, I trespassed. I did a lot of bad, stupid, retarded stuff.
He just told me that there was a string of cattle mutilations because I had asked him if there was any UFO or anything else weird that happened around here, and he was like, "Well, we'd see strange lights out in the pasture," and then I just asked a bunch of questions, and then there were reported cases of cattle mutilations in the area, so it wasn't just this one land.
Interesting.
In the area, so yeah, I find that interesting. It could could be UFOs, could be something else. Yeah.
So. We ask ourselves, why would aliens do this?
Well, why would aliens probe us? It's the same thing. Why would that even happen? We don't know. Maybe learn our biology, but wouldn't they have learned what they need to learn already?
Kinky pleasures. Butt pleasures.
Anything but pleasures. Anyways, no, that would be horrible.
Well, I mean, there was a theory posed. He put it out here, Phil Summers, on my Facebook post. He said, "I have a theory. Hear me out. That extraterrestrials are mining psilocybin sources. The most potent shrooms come from cow dung. Psilocybin might be an advanced source of medicine for extraterrestrials." And he said that actually came to me in a shroom trip while shrooming with a buddy of mine.
That's pretty awesome.
So now, with that being said, I am going to check out. I'm going to see if there's any medical
benefits.
Yeah.
Well, they use psilocybin. I could tell you about it. They use psilocybin to help with depression. Microdosing of psilocybin has been used in studies to help patients fight against depression. When you microdose, it puts your mind in a certain state or whatever, to where I think it's what's the good chemical in your brain that makes you feel good? Is it serotonin? Is that what it is?
I think so. Yeah.
So when you do shrooms, from what I've heard, you have depending on your trip, I guess, depending on how people go, psilocybin has many different effects when you are dosing. Depending on how strong the dosage is, you could be tripping, you could just have a sense of euphoria or feel pretty good. And I'm not gonna lie, I had friends who have done it, and they've told me that their depression was actually taken care of for at least a month or two after they have done shrooms. So if someone takes small amounts of psilocybin, microdosing, I have a feeling that could help them fight against depression. Which, if there's studies out there that do tests on psilocybin. So
yeah, John Hopkins is one that's been doing some tests. Let's see. It addressed a few different types of conditions. The most promising potential is for addiction, for smoking, alcoholism, cocaine. Let's see. It's also shown impressive results in treating depression and death anxiety.
See, I'm not wrong.
Yep. Somebody's looked into this.
I've done my research. I will say I've willingly done my research into psilocybin. Absolutely.
And researchers are also looking at its applications for anorexia, Alzheimer's, post-traumatic stress disorder.
From what I've heard from looking into it, is it unlocks certain not triggers, but certain things in your brain that instead of you going this way, it makes you go this way or a different direction. So that would make sense why it helps you or tries to help you with certain things.
Yep. But yeah, Alzheimer's, post-traumatic stress, demoralization syndrome, sounds like depression basically.
So maybe that's how the government's doing it.
And it also helps with obsessive compulsive disorder.
I would have never. Okay, I could see that.
Now there are some drawbacks. So if you're thinking about jumping on one of these clinical trials, there's a mild addiction potential. It could also be an emotionally painful or frightening experience, and also there's some cardiovascular risks.
Good or bad your trip is, that's just normal. That's
psilocybin binds to the HT2B receptors, which can cause dangerous changes in the structure and shape of heart valves in some susceptible people.
So don't do it all the time.
Yeah.
Or if you did do it, I would say if I were to ever do it for a study, I would do it. I'd want to microdose. I'd want to see maybe a half ounce, or not a half ounce, half of a probably gram, I would say, just to see if that had any difference in my cognitive function.
Right.
But purely for scientific research, of course, nothing crazy.
Yeah, there seems to be several institutes that are doing a lot of testing with it. So
I'm pretty sure it's legal in a couple states now. I think it's legal in.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
It's legal in some state. I know that, at least one.
So So would aliens be coming here for that just because of cow poop? And if that was the case, why would they be mutilating the cows and not just taking the poop?
I don't know.
I mean, that's a good point, right? Why kill the cow when you can just get the milk for free, right?
Maybe there's no avoiding that. Like,
like the cow's gonna tell.
Well, no, maybe
we're gonna silence that motherfucker. Make sure you pull out its anus.
No, let me break it down. Let me just see here. I don't know. Maybe they found like a more pure form before it like. So obviously, like when we break down food, it goes through a whole process, and you have the finished product. Well, with cows, what if there's somewhere in that process that's a more pure form of psilocybin than what you get after it's been completely out? So,
but that still doesn't make sense to the mutilations themselves.
Dave, none of it makes sense.
Well, that's what we're trying. Well, that's what we're trying to do is make sense of it.
Well, okay. I mean,
so like the tongues being taken, ears being taken.
Scientific research.
Maybe. But like as far as this shroom goes, if you're just looking for shrooms, then you might as well just take a big heaping pile of cow crap.
It's not necessarily how it works, but okay.
Cow pies. Yeah, it grows in the cow pie, but it's not like growing from the cow pie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But like you would explore the cow pie. Don't explore the cow.
Explore the cow pie. What's underneath it, not in it.
Yeah.
What's coming from the earth.
Why kill the cow when you can get the milk for free?
But I don't know. Maybe it's possible. There is some.
Perhaps it's a delicacy.
Aliens selling it.
Something that they eat. It's like black market food. Like, let's just say, like, here in Oklahoma, if you catch paddlefish, you can't transfer it across state lines without having it processed.
Really?
Yes, because of the you can't. The reason they do that is because you also can't transfer paddlefish eggs across state lines. It's like $100,000 fine, 10 years in prison.
Weird.
Or something like that. Because it's basically caviar. They have state rules and regulations about it. So if you go paddlefish fishing, you have to go with a guide, and you also have to, once you catch one, the guide takes it to a station where they process it for you.
Jeez.
And you have to have a special license to do it. You get one a year.
My gosh.
So maybe that's kind of how it is with their world. They don't have cows, and they're like, dude, we found this on Earth. It is fucking delicious. You should try this. What is it? I don't know, but they poop out of it. Bro. That's where they poop from.
You should try this. It makes you see different weird things. Makes you see humans with elf ears. It's crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
The subject of cow mutilations has just been, I feel like it's been overlooked a lot.
Well, yeah, it has.
And I mean, for good reason. It's horrible. It's disgusting. Nobody wants to really talk about it. But it's still a phenomenon that happens. So it's just like,
I can see why they say like Satanists are mutilating cattle. But do you really think there's that many Satanists doing this?
Yeah. Could be.
I've seen them butcher deer, chicken, cat.
Well, okay. Here's my thing though. Animal sacrifices were very common in the Bible too.
Yeah. Even human sacrifice.
Yeah, that's fair, I guess. So it's just like, I don't know. I could see Satanists doing it, especially if it was for specific parts of said animals or a cult of some sort, not necessarily Satanists themselves. I could see it, but it doesn't explain how it's so widespread in specific parts and internal organs.
I'm no expert in satanic rituals, but I would come to suspect that if they were going to perform a ritual, wouldn't they use like the parts that are known as the life forces of an animal, like the heart, the head,
You would think.
You know?
Who was it? Who could it possibly be? Was it? Oh, I don't know. Satan?
You couldn't resist, could you?
I could not resist.
No, that was perfect. That was really good. I mean, yeah, you would think that they would do that, but most of that's still pretty intact, except for the ones where it's just like
half
parts
the face.
of the it's just like gone. Yeah, half the face is just.
Now we were going to show you guys pictures, but come on, it'd be too brutal for YouTube, and
too brutal for a lot of people.
Yeah,
people don't want to see that stuff. If you want to go see it, just go do your own research. But
Google images, cattle mutilation.
Yeah, if your safety settings are turned off. Actually, maybe even then, I don't know.
Warning.
Yeah, warning. It's pretty graphic. But yeah, it doesn't explain the internal organs. Like if it was animals.
Yeah. So let's do this. To give context of these animal mutilations, let's go into some cases here.
All right.
I'll let you go ahead and kick it off here.
All right. I'll start off with the. There was a case in Argentina, cattle mutilations. So I'll just read the whole article. It comes from Mysterious Universe. Argentina has plenty of cattle. Argentina has plenty of reports of mysterious, unexplained cattle mutilations. Argentina also has plenty of UFO sightings. And now, Argentina has a case of a cattle mutilation followed by UFO sightings. So, interesting. Can investigators of both paranormal phenomena get together and figure this one out? Mm-hmm. A person who was doing rural work about 30 miles south of Jacinto Arauz, I don't know, A-R-A-U-Z, observed a couple of weeks ago the unusual commuting of a pair of unknown lights in the sunset sky at a very low height. The solo man was at was at the place where he had installed his camp. From there, he could see a dim light moving beneath another brighter object that was suspended in midair. Shortly after, both lights melted into one another and walked away from the scene at high speeds. Okay. Jorge Gabriel Roman uploaded this report to his Facebook page, where it was picked up by La Arena and other media sources. La Pampa is a sparsely populated province in central Argentina. Jacinto is a small town that's dependent on agriculture. The witness didn't appear to have reported his UFO sighting to anyone at this point. However, what he saw the next day caused him enough concern to report both incidences. The following day, he resumed his work and about 500 meters from the camp, he found a mutilated animal. Like so many others around the world, the man was accompanied by his dog, who at the time began to bark. He brought his pet closer to the body of the dead cow to eat some of its meat. So the guy wanted his dog to eat some of the meat. So it's like, who cares how long it's been dead? You know.
Yeah. A dog's a scavenger anyway.
Yeah. Shoot. But this one, the dog didn't want to approach. Images gave the account a typical cuts that are made in these mutilation cases. Roman points out that the photos, which I'm not going to show, resembles other mutilations he has seen, both in pictures and in person. Roman appears to be a local, if not national, authority on. Roman appears to be a local, if not national, authority on or local authority on a cattle mutilations, and he reiterates that these incidences and UFOs often go hand in hand, or hoof and hoof. Horrible joke right there. Causing many to conclude aliens are harvesting body parts for inspections. This is obviously difficult to prove and raises many questions. Why would ET travels all this way to only take samples of cows? The UFOs in this area, or in this case, were bright lights which can belong to helicopters or drones. The witness did not report hearing any sounds from it either. On the other hand, Roman reminds us of the strangeness of these mutilation deaths. The animals appear to have simply fallen down dead. Other animals show fear of the corpse, as the witness dogs did. This case had another strange characteristic of an animal mutilations. A few days later, following his activities in the surroundings, The worker was able to find the animal's body was still exactly the same. So no predators came and picked off of it, nothing. The corpse showed no decomposition and decay, nor by scavengers or insects. The trait often puzzles veterinarians brought in to investigate with no reason given for it. It doesn't appear that a vet checked this one, but Jorge Gabriel Roman did. Returning to the field where the Solo Man met the enlightened sky, I imagine him waiting for the silent flight of another unknown light of wanting to know who, choosing which animal to maim. Go one to know why. That's it. It says Google translation, so it's broken English. So that's why it's not really typed well. But
Fair.
That brings up a very good point. There was no decay, no no natural decay, and no animals had messed with it. So that's very interesting. Very interesting. Or insects.
And that seems to be a common occurrence that I've read with a lot of these mutilations, is that animals the scavengers that you would expect to, take advantage of easy meal, they leave it alone.
Yeah. It's just weird. It's just
like, is there a bacteria out there that's saying, hey, don't fuck with us. We're going to put out this odor so not to eat this.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's somebody. If they did what would be cool is if they did like a deep forensic, research into it. Yeah,
swab the wounds and
yeah. But it's just animal death, so nobody cares.
Yep, just another animal.
Yeah, it's whatever.
What case? 300 pounds of hamburger.
Right. Which I did have a burger today. So, which case did you want to talk about?
So the one I found, it's a lot more recent than what the articles have been saying. 2019 being the last. It's not. This comes from the Oregon Live, the Oregonian. This article talks about how detectives were perplexed by mysterious cattle mutilations, and this was published on April 18th of this year, and was updated on April 23rd of this year. So I'll just read the article.
Okay.
The udders appeared to have been removed with precision, straight, even cuts as if made by a sharp object. The reproductive systems have been cut out cleanly as well and without disturbing other organs. There was no indication of predator activity, and perhaps strangest of all, scavenging animals appear to have hardly touched these 6 cow carcasses found in a 7-day span. This year I guess this happened that year, of course, in rural Crook County. Detectives with Crook County Sheriff's Office, longtime ranchers and a Prineville veterinarian who reviewed evidence from an ongoing case say they're stumped by the unnatural deaths. But mutilated cattle might be more ordinary than they seem, according to Brian Dunning, a Bend-based podcaster committed to deflating these wild claims. He says that this reads like a very typical case. Crook County Sheriff John Gottney said his office has no leads, but cautioned there's no reason to panic. We've had cases like this over the years, Gottney said. They seem to come in groups and then go away. We are not speculating on how these are happening, as we try to keep an open mind and look at all possibilities. So, just to pause on that article, he said that this seems to come in groups and then go away.
Yeah.
Well, if you're harvesting, you're going to come and collect as much as you can. It's like picking berries. You're going to pick as many as you can and then go take them back home before you go back out and pick more, right?
Yeah, you would think.
That's what this sounds like.
That's what I would do.
Mutilated cattle have been reported in the American West since at least 1960s. There have been multiple recent cases of bull mutilations in Harney, Wheeler, and Umatilla counties in eastern Oregon, but now beef cattle have turned up dead in the remote ranchlands outside of Prineville, bearing signs common to the cattle mutilation phenomenon. The current string of cases began on February 27th when Crook County Sheriff's Office Deputy Scott Durr I'd hate to have that last name. What's up, Durr? Durr. Was dispatched to suspicious circumstances at the 96 Ranch on Southeast Van Lake Road. Owner Ricky Shannon said that one of his herd had been discovered dead 2 days earlier with an odd cut down its spine. Shannon, who lives on the ranch with his 2 sons, reported no predators or birds had touched the cow. There were no tracks and no blood surrounding it. The cow's left cheek, tongue, and 3 of its teats had been cut away cleanly, but the eyes, usually the first body part to be scavenged after death, were untouched. There were no bullet holes, and a scan of the cow by a metal detector turned up nothing. The cow was about 200 yards from the road, near the edge of a field and some juniper trees. There were no vehicle tracks near the dead animals, no footprints of any kind. The mystery deepened a few days later. On March 4th, Casey Thomas, manager of the GI Ranch in Paulina, reported that one of his herd of around 5,000 appeared to have suffered a strange death. Crook County Detective Javier Sanchez arrived to find a deceased Black Angus cow lying on its side. Hair had been removed near the stomach. All 4 udders were cut off, and its left cheek, tongue, and sex organs were removed. Between the front legs, an uneven patch of hair was missing, and in the middle was a prick mark, Sanchez wrote in his report. The next day, Crook County Sergeant Timothy Durham was dispatched to report a wolf kill at the McCormick Ranch southeast of Bear Creek Road, but it was apparent no wolf took down this cow. Durham noted several straight incisions on the animal. 1 udder had been removed, and a circular cut was made around the anus, and the reproductive organs removed without puncturing the gut. The left cheek, left eye, and tongue had been removed. Again, I noted straight, clean incisions where the cheek had been, Durham wrote in his case report. Durham examined the carcass and found a puncture wound between the neck and shoulder. He found no bite marks. There were no apparent animal or human tracks immediately surrounding the carcass, and only minimal blood in the area. I know from personal experience that if an animal is killed or scavenged by predators, there's typically a large bloody mess surrounding the carcass, said Durham.
Yeah.
You stop on that one because there's more coming up. But so on that one, he noticed incision marks or incision points,
specific incision points
on the neck, neck to the shoulder, like somewhere in there.
Okay.
I wonder if that aligned with like an artery,
maybe,
or if that was,
But if it lined with an artery, wouldn't there be like?
Not if it was sucking the blood out.
El chupacabra. Anyways.
El chupacabra jumping in on this. There's a big one too, taking down a big cow.
Yeah. Well, I mean.
So the cow before that, they found a prick mark on it. Like it's like something stuck it. And then this one, they found the puncture wound on the neck. And then the hair being missing. Could be from mange, right?
Could be.
But a cow can't scratch between its.
I was gonna say, wouldn't the cow be really scaly, like mostly everywhere?
I would think so.
It was
I mean, it takes time; it develops, but like.
So I guess it could have been new. Yeah, I don't know.
It's interesting.
Odd, yeah, it's very interesting.
All right, I'll continue.
Okay.
On March 6th, Casey Thomas called police back to report finding another dead cow bearing the same strange injuries. Okay, so if this was an animal, number one, there would be an assault pattern. You would see like blood everywhere. You would see all that mess.
Yeah.
Scavengers would leave a mess, pulling the guts out, tearing limbs off.
You'd see the ground would be disturbed if animals were trying to rip it like apart with their teeth and clawing at it and stuff like that.
So, and if somebody shot it, you would of course see blood. You would see the bullet entry wound and exit wound, possibly.
Also, wouldn't there be like a pad of blood surrounding the animal too?
Yeah, you would think so.
Like, where did the blood go? Vampires.
So this cow was more badly decomposed than the first, but its left cheek was also removed and had a 2-inch patch that had been cut into the hair on its neck. Detective took photos of the dead cows to Prineville veterinarian Dr. Taylor Carlin. For her perspective, she agreed the deaths appeared unnatural. Keyword unnatural. Yeah. And her opinion was included in a search warrant request filed in the case to scan for cell phone activity near where the cows were found. So they can track your phones. Charges in any of the cases would include trespassing and aggravated animal abuse. With the cattle valued at $1,250 to $1,400 each, criminal mischief might also be charged. As a vet with an interest in large animals, Carlin has performed many post-mortem examinations on deceased livestock. When and if another mutilated cow turns up in Crook County, Carlin has agreed to perform an appropriate necropsy so she can personally examine a fresh specimen if another turns up. One possible explanation is these were, in fact, natural deaths. Okay. So now we're going to get into a little bit of like explanations, I guess.
Okay. Or theories of an explanation.
Yeah. Now, this is just a podcast host kind of giving his explanation, his opinion on this.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure he did some research. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Say, yeah, you probably did some research and everything. But I don't think his explanation explains everything.
Okay. Do tell.
Do tell. So, podcast host Dunning's long-running show, Skeptoid, devoted an episode to debunking cattle mutilations in 2015. Dunning, who read the 28-page search warrant request, called the recent Crook County case typical of numerous accounts often attributed to aliens or satanic rituals. Dunning said, "This is almost certainly the same kind of bird predation we've seen in so many similar cases," he wrote. In my opinion, there is nothing here that suggests anything but normal and expected bird predation had occurred, and no justification for a search warrant to seek out an apocryphal human responsible for the wounds. Dunning said he's learned that there's actually a short window of time between when the animal dies and when its body is scavenged, when it's obvious what killed the animal. Most particularly, birds and also some insects will always go first for the exposed soft tissue, eyes, tongue, lips, and mouth area, and genitals. The animal is dead with zero blood pressure, so there is never significant bleeding from post-mortem wounds. The body is in the process of drying and decaying, so skin pulls tight from around the excised area, giving the impression of a perfect surgical cut. Carlin is awaiting the results of liver and blood samples she's sent away for lab testing. The veterinarian. Police have sent hair samples to the state crime lab on the chance that they don't belong to the bovine. Last year, the FBI in Oregon started receiving questions about cattle mutilations in central and eastern Oregon, according to Beth Ann Steele, spokesperson for the FBI Portland office. But despite sporadic media inquiries, the office does not have a current role in the cattle mutilations investigation. Steele wrote, for this article. So the podcast host is basically saying that between the time of death and when it's scavenged, right? I'm guessing is what he's banking on, is that the bloating takes place and the skin is basically tearing in certain parts. I believe that's what he's saying, or what he's kind of alluding to, if he's done his research. I've seen a horse die, and it took a week for it to fully bloat. A horse, full-grown horse. Now, a full-grown cow would probably take close to the same amount of time.
Right.
In that time, you would see probably the flies and insects coming towards the end of day one on these animals. Depending on where you live, how populous scavengers are, you would see them started coming for the animal not too long after. These cows that they found were dead overnight, right? These farmers going out there either in the morning or later in the day and finding these parts removed. To me, that doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make any sense. There's no room for explanation.
Yeah, when you consider the whole process of decomposition, when you have that bloating period, I mean, I can honestly say yes, I can see where that would create rips in the skin that would seem like precision marks. I can see that. So if I can admit that, can we not admit that the removal of internal organs, like the internal sex organs, without disturbing any of the other organs, within a day,
that's impressive,
was not done by your furry scavengers? I don't think a bird would crawl inside the anus.
Right. There's no way they wouldn't.
A bird is not going to remove the anus. Honestly,
there's no precision for normal animals to do any sort of removal of organs without harming other organs.
Exactly. There would be some tearing, because that's what animals do. They don't
clawing. Like if you watch deer, or not deer, if you watch lions or whatever in Africa dissect some sort of a carcass, they'll hold it with its hands and go and just rip it with their teeth.
Watch any predator.
Literally, wolves, like everything, chew everything.
Yep, and then the wolves will leave a mess.
And they'll leave the mess. They'll leave the bones with bloody bones. Like there's still blood with the animals. That doesn't explain where the blood goes. It can't just seep into the ground and just gone. Like,
so thinking about what birds, let's go. I can see the insects being the cause of eyes being gone.
Okay, I can see that.
Because that's a really soft tissue.
And that's external, though. That's right there.
Yeah, that's an external one. That's usually the first one that goes. So I can see the bugs doing that by the end of the day. Whole left side of the cheek and the tongue and everything, you would see evidence of the insects.
Yeah.
And of other scab. If the cheek's missing, something had to pull that cheek off.
I was gonna say the cheek just doesn't separate by itself, or the tongue doesn't separate by itself.
If there's a tearing from post-mortem, you would see the flap of skin.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be removed; it would just be there.
Yeah.
It would be torn, cut like with a straight razor or whatever, and just hanging there.
Yeah.
I like that people are trying to debunk it. I get that. As a paranormal investigator, that's what we do. We have to debunk things to find the stuff that does not make sense.
And I want to go back and watch some of these debunking things, but at the same time, how can you test for certain specific things that just I don't think debunking can explain?
Well, I think they're going about it the right way now with the veterinarian, doing tests on blood and the liver and stuff like that. The police doing tests with the hair. And here's another thing that people aren't talking about. After these cattle mutilations, these animals are not even touched or hardly touched afterwards.
Like the corpse
what is
still
wrong? What is wrong with this meat now that even a scavenger who eats dead bodies will not touch? Radiation?
Maybe.
I mean, have we not scanned these animals for radiation?
Maybe that hasn't crossed people's minds yet.
I mean,
maybe you figured it out. Maybe
you
just
would
figured
think.
out a key clue.
Maybe we're just hey, there's a clue. Take your Geiger counter out there, see what you find. But I mean that would be what I would think. I mean, why? Unless there's a poison in the system that these animals can sense, that they can smell.
Maybe come in contact with something that's unclean.
I'd like to see what the results are of that liver and blood sample.
I would too. That'd be really nice. Really nice.
So I posed a question in the chat. Who or what do you believe is responsible for the animal mutilations? Is it the government? Is it aliens? Is it just a natural phenomenon?
The world may never know.
But what do you think? That's what I'd like to know. What do you think? Drop your comments in the comment section. If you're watching this late, please put your comment in the comment section. And for you watching live, you can throw it in the comments at any point. What do you think, Charles?
Do cattle mutilations exist? 100% they do exist. Do I think it could be chalked up to other animals' decay? No. I don't. I physically cannot think how
all these animals are being scavenged in the same fashion each time.
Yeah. The same fashion, the same way, without some sort of either surgical known expertise or what have you. Because when animals go after internal organs, they're going to chew the heck out of the stomach, out of the sides, out of everything. It's not going to be, But yeah, I just, I don't. It's hard for me to believe because I haven't seen enough research of it. Am I open to it being, some sort of extraterrestrial or government experience or experiments? Of course, I'm open to that. I'm open to anything at this point with the life we're living in. But to leave it up to just other animals and bacteria and insects, I don't believe that.
Yeah, I can't leave it up to that either. Could I see it being a government thing? Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. But I couldn't see that being a widespread thing, though.
No.
Worldwide. Maybe not so much. I could see like testing being done where they wanted to see how, I don't want to call it a bioweapon, but just like a biologically engineered thing is they want to see how it affects like certain parts of the body, maybe. Something to sterilize people or animals with. Aliens, why would they be harvesting those particular parts? That's a mystery in itself. But the whole satanic cult thing, I can't see that. Not that widespread.
No.
So, I mean, outside of natural and aliens is kind of the fence I'd be leaning on. Unless there's some thing with Sasquatch where he's like, you know what?
This cow tongue sounds real good today. I don't know why my Sasquatch sounds like a weird Texan. But...
You know what I can put in my mouth? Not a juicy cow rectum.
Probably be a delicacy in some countries, and it's quite offensive in some countries, but it's fine.
Anus beef.
It's what's for dinner.
Yeah, no, not on this plate. Not on this plate, buddy. What are we
that's
having tonight? We have your choice. You could have cow tongue, cow anus, or bull testicles.
I would probably go with the cow tongue, honestly. I would probably eat a cow tongue over testicles or anus first. Because cow tongue is actually a thing. That is really...
They all are, actually.
It's true, they are really all a thing. But I would be open to eating a cow tongue. If I had a gun to my head to pick between the three,
it'd be like, all right, we might get canceled for this one, but it'd be like sucking dick for the first time. There's a lot of crying.
Why did you have to go with that? You could just cut the cow tongue up and eat it with a fork.
Because I would be crying the entire time, and nobody would enjoy it.
Oh, I don't want mental images in my mind. I don't want that.
Oh.
Ooh, what a lovely tea party.
Hey, this would... we're going to hell.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. So yeah, guys, what do you think? Cow
Phantasm
mutilations,
orgasm.
fact or fiction? Huh? What do you guys think? Just let us know in the comments. We appreciate you joining in and watching our video.
Yeah. If you haven't yet, subscribe.
Yes.
Please do that. We did break 100 subscribers, so we are going to be doing 2 live episodes in October from the Crescent Hotel in Eureka Springs, Arkansas, which is going to be awesome.
I can't wait.
No doubt. Now, if you guys, if we jump up there, like we have a nice spike in subscribers, then I will probably set something else up special.
We gotta
at the Crescent.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
No chance it was an animal. It's
Aliens
for research.
Getting that
Possibly.
psilocybin, my dude. Getting that psilocybin out of the cow's what is it called? Manure. Out of the manure. I'm telling you, what if there's a more pure source inside of them that, like,
you know what I'm thinking is, I wonder if there's more DNA stored in your testicles, and with the tongue, because of saliva. You know, you do DNA testing with saliva. With the saliva, the tongue, of course, the cheek, you're holding a lot of saliva there, and then the testicles, you have a lot. Your reproductive organs. There's a lot of DNA stored there. I wonder if that has anything to do with it.
Could be. I mean, it's easier to take the whole section than to get a cow to, makes a lot of sense. Maybe that's why they're probing people. They don't want to kill them because that's, that wouldn't be good.
I mean, probing's going to be a little bit different. They're not removing anything.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Except for your dignity.
They're under a contract where they can't probe or they can't remove things. Remember, Dave?
Yeah.
They're under contract with the U.S. government.
So maybe, like whenever they're abducting humans, they're just swabbing.
Maybe.
Maybe someone is on that Santa
It is probably the government. I can see it. I'm open to it. I can't say for sure, but
yeah, like I said, I mean they've done testing on hoof and mouth disease, a lot of testing on Plum Island.
Wouldn't it be easier to secure their own cows though, instead of like? Well, I guess it would also depend on how much. Well, the government would still have a lot of land in the 70s, technically. Yeah. But wouldn't it look kind of suspicious if the government had a bunch of cows? Or not? Or not? Maybe not. I don't know.
Not if they have their own island.
True.
Nobody knows what's going on in it.
That's very true. Doing random tests.
I'm telling you guys, if you have not heard about Plum Island, do yourself a service and look it up. Very interesting stuff. We need to figure out what we're going to do for next week's show.
We do need to figure out what we're going to do for next week's show. That's going to be a must. Oh, we got another comment.
To me, I feel like an alien might need parts for cloning cattle. Maybe I haven't thought about it for that far, but they could be cloning these animals for. Well, like I said earlier, that psilocybin, if it grows in the dung itself, why take the cow when the shit's right there?
I don't think,
because I don't think the psilocybin grows inside the cow.
But what if it's the chemical that, like, what if there's a chemical inside? Well, there has to be some sort of chemical inside of the dung that makes it grow.
Then why not just take the dung?
I don't know. Like I said, what if there's a more pure form inside the cow?
A pure form of what?
The something that goes into making psilocybin. What if it's not psilocybin itself? What if it's something that goes into making psilocybin? See, psilocybin's in the cow's DNA.
I thought it was a mushroom.
No, that's just it's in the mushroom. That's what grows, is the mushroom.
So the DNA from the cow gets supplanted into the seed of the mushroom or the spore of the mushroom, and it
there's no mushroom spore there. It just kind of grows.
There has to be some kind of spore.
Like it grows. I don't know. It's not like a seed where you plant a seed and put cow dung on top of it. It's not like that.
Because that's how mushrooms spread, is through spores.
Well, then there you go. But I'm just saying, it's psilocybin inside the DNA. what if there's a more pure form inside the cow? They wouldn't have to siphon through all the cow dung. They could just siphon through the cow.
Now, maybe some kind of agent, like, when people grow weed, they put they mix different chemicals or whatever to help the weed grow, and it helps alter the DNA of weed.
Well, like, are you saying like
different strands?
I would say, are you saying like cross straining?
Yeah, kind of like that.
I wouldn't say it'd be messing with a bunch of chemicals. You're taking the chemical compound of the.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean.
You're not introducing harm,
not harmful chemicals, but like
yeah.
But like if there's,
you're changing the DNA of the plant from one plant to the other. You're mating it together to grow a different seed.
So at that point, so let's think about this. If there's something in the dung that is helping this mushroom grow, that dung's going to pass through the rectum, which is removed, but it's also going to come from the large and small intestines, which are not removed.
Yep.
For whatever reason. The stomach's not removed. So there's the three digestive...
in the anus. I don't know.
3 digestive portions there. So maybe something's added when it's passing through a certain spot as it reaches the rectum.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe they're just impatient and they don't.
I'm not a Scientologist.
Maybe it's fresher coming out of the cow right then.
Then just take the damn cow. I think there would be, if you're on a mission to collect certain stuff without being caught or being noticed or having any attention drawn to you, would you just take the cow or would you like cut it up? But then again, they probably know we're not going to do shit about shit.
Hey, what are we going to do?
Yeah. I saw an alien. That's probably the extent of it.
Yeah.
There'll be an article written in Town Ridicule.
Most likely.
It's interesting stuff.
It is.
I don't know that anybody's really done any passive testing as far. Well, you know what? I take that back. Because there are, like I said, there are these universities that are doing testing with psilocybin treatments.
I've only ever heard you say psilocybin. Just throwing that out there.
Psilocybin?
Yeah, I've only ever heard you say that. I've only ever heard psilocybin.
Well, whatever. I guess it could be pronounced either way. I don't know.
I could be wrong. I'm just everybody that I've.
You're not my dad.
I'm just saying. No, and it's a very good idea. Phil Summers talked about
this psilocybin or psilocybin, whatever. It's new to me, so y'all can fuck off.
Do your research, Dave. No, it's fine.
But
you never know.
But there are universities. Johns Hopkins is doing research with it. Johns Hopkins is doing research with it. So could they be researching the whole cow thing, where it's coming from? And I don't know.
Maybe they have a better way of growing it instead of with cow dung.
Maybe.
I don't know. We'd have to ask the university themselves. How do you guys grow psilocybin, or how do you grow mushrooms? How do you get it in its purest form?
Yeah, they'll tell us.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure they have like psilocybin capsules now. They've got.
Well, there has to be some kind of papers out there for peer review.
There has to be. But I'm pretty. You know what?
You're gonna do some research now, aren't you? He's on a mission. One man with a dream or many dreams, psychedelic or not.
All right.
Just know I'm not going to be looking that shit up as we're on here right now.
No, it's fine. I wouldn't expect you to. California has decriminalized psilocybin.
Cool.
And I'm pretty sure Oregon has as well. So yeah, there's plenty of places doing research for it. Which, I mean, if it does show like with as much properties as it's showing, it's helping people. You want to regulate it. You don't want to do it in too big of doses, but yeah, no, it's very interesting. It's a very interesting thought. Something I would have actually never thought of, but hey, good on you.
Yeah. Go Big Pharma.
still like, why no blood? Why face half gone? Why remove certain other
That's what I'm
things?
saying. DNA.
Like,
It might be a DNA thing.
makes sense. It makes total sense.
Maybe they want cows on their planet.
Yes. Thank you, Phil.
And instead of, if they want cows on their planet, instead of taking a cow and then flying them back, maybe the cow would die on the way there. Maybe time is not,
Relevant.
they don't have the same representation of time that we have. So maybe their representation, they live longer in our time. But,
or what would also make sense is if the planet conditions are completely different, like they don't have air, so
they got to alter the DNA,
and they would change the DNA to where it would survive without air or survive with some other way.
And then they now have a new meat source or protein source, or maybe they're
200 in Colorado alone. Did they just keep messing up? Like,
yeah, well, I mean, DNA is a very difficult thing to do. Like,
true.
Especially if you got to alter it to make a creature.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Now they could also be populating a new planet.
Yeah, I didn't think about that one.
That's not to get into religion much, but that big jump in evolution there. I don't know if that was just happenstance. I'm just saying. I'm a firm believer that we were put here by aliens.
I could say somewhere along the way that we were tampered with by aliens, but I don't know about us being planted on Earth by aliens. That's just
dinosaurs die. We're here.
Yeah, true. Like out of nowhere.
Okay, let's do something different here. Whoop, wipe that shit out. Let's put something else on here. And we are aliens. God is an alien. Is basically what I'm saying. Technically, I'm right because he's not of the Earth
that we know of. I mean, he did create the Earth and everything above, but yeah. So that we were seeded by aliens. Yeah, see.
And maybe that's what's happening on other planets. They're taking some DNA from stuff that they thought was beneficial here, which cows are extremely beneficial here. They produce milk. It's a life source. They produce meat. They also help produce gases that are good for the atmosphere.
Grounds for growing, like
fertilizing the grounds. Like the emissions. I mean, that's good for the atmospheres, for plant life.
I mean, isn't it which country is it? India that looks at cows as sacred?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So
maybe that's what's going on. Maybe. Harvesting DNA to create their own breed of a cow-ish thing.
That'd be a good topic too. The seeding of humanity.
Right.
Topic of talking about that. I'm just saying we don't.
Where do we come from?
Yeah, we don't have to talk about like that specifically next week. That's a pretty good idea to save for another show.
We were amphibians and we grew arms and legs and crawled out of the ocean. Or we're birds and we shed our shit.
I don't know. I haven't really done enough research into evolution, but like looking at evolution from like a
an outsider.
I just don't. I don't see it. I don't see it. I could see like our DNA being changed and manipulated and changed, over the course of thousands, hundreds of thousands of years or millions of years. But
so we kind of went a little off topic, but that's fine.
Yeah, that's what
we just kind of rambled there at the end here. So guys, that's going to do it for our show tonight.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll figure out something to do for next week. We'll post it on here. We'll post it on our Facebook and Twitter. If you haven't followed us on Twitter, please do so. Also on Facebook, you can follow us on there. Like us.
Yes.
Throw out suggestions for show ideas. We're always taking suggestions. Occam's razor, yes. Again, I want to thank everybody for getting us to 100 or over 100. And let's see another boost. Let's get another spike. If we can hit 200, man, I mean, by October.
I just wish our YouTube page reflected our Facebook page. We're at 391 likes or 93 likes. So it's just like a simple subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe. Hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, granted, all those people don't have YouTube, which I understand that. It's just like It's not that hard.
How do you not have YouTube? It's pre-installed on your cell phone.
Well, I mean, like they don't have. You have to set up an account. You have to do like all this kind of stuff.
Hey, you can still watch, people. You can still watch.
Yeah. Which makes our viewership go up.
Yeah. All right, guys. We're off here. We'll be here same time, same place next week with a brand new topic.
Ooh.
Thanks for joining us. Yeah.
I was gonna say, just in case you guys missed it, beginning of the episode, we are going to Eureka Springs, Arkansas for a special 2-night all access Boogeyman radio broadcast at the Crescent Hotel.
He's excited.
I am very excited.
I'm excited for you.
Thanks.
I'm like, meh, because I've been there so many times.
Yeah,
and
I'm like, I've only been there once, but not to stay overnight. And
right. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be a blast. Hopefully something happens to us.
Man, I'm hoping
not like in the rapey kind of way, but like
paranormal kind of way.
Yeah. Cool beans. Exactly. All right, guys. Y'all have a good night.
Good night, guys.